we get started?
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, thanks everybody for joining. This is our monthly approved talent AMA, or all hands, or whatever you want to call it. What we're going to do today is do some quick introductions on the Braintrust side. For our new people, we've added probably 25 or 30 people since last month. So for the benefit of our new people, and as a reminder for folks that have been here longer, we'll just give a quick overview on the vision of the Braintrust project and why we're doing what we're doing. Then I'll dive into sort of how the COVID pandemic has impacted the network. And then we'll go into a network update. We'll kick it over to Shirley for a community update. And then Mark and Megan will do a product roadmap update. And then we'll wrap up with some Q&A. For anyone who has questions along the way, click the Q&A button here at the bottom of Zoom. And maybe like the invites, it'll get us the question within 24 hours so we can answer it for you. Just kidding, that part should be live. You can tell I'm not pleased with Zoom these days. Okay, first quick intros. My name's Adam Jackson. Nice to see the new people here. I'm based in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm a serial entrepreneur and an investor, and started working on Braintrust about 2 years ago. How about over to Shirley?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Shirley Yang. Some of you have already spoken to me through Slack and you get my newsletters every week. I am head of community. I'm here to make sure that your experience is great, to help answer any questions and create programs that you find meaningful.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Williams, our head of operations. I'm based out of Seattle, where I've been in technology consulting for the last 20 years, and I'm coming up on my 1-year mark here with Braintrust. And we have welcomed a new member of the team, our operations manager, Megan. Good morning, Megan. You're on mute, Megan.
Of course I am. So I'm Megan. I am in North Lake Tahoe area, and I work with Mark on our operations side. I've spoken with a lot of you on Slack and email, especially when it comes to sourcing for some of these exciting opportunities that we have coming up. So I'm a good resource if you're looking to figure out how to improve your profile. So please feel free to reach out to me.
All right, and welcome, Megan. So nice to have you. Really appreciate all the help on the talent recruiting side and filling these new roles. All right, well, let's dive in. So what I like to do at the beginning of these meetings is give a quick recap on the vision for Braintrust, like why we're doing this, what this is all about, how we're unique. And so we're the world's first user-controlled talent platform. Our core belief here is that user-controlled networks / companies will grow faster and be more valuable than investor-controlled networks and companies. And so this new kind of network formation model will work on any category. We just chose to start with connecting tech talent and design talent with enterprise companies. And so we're building this network because we believe people should be able to work on cool projects, keep 100% of their hourly rate, have the flexibility to work from anywhere, and have influence and a say over how the network grows. That's on the talent side. On the client side, our pitch is really simple, and it's actually working really well. This is not the traditional outsourcing, offshoring story where you're just trying to get people at the lowest possible rate. This is actually the opposite. It's about finding the most highly skilled and experienced people that these companies simply can't hire internally. Braintrust provides access to individuals, teams, or even whole agencies. And then clients use it for staff augmentation. So like, just give me 3 or 4 developers and I'll manage them. Or fully managed projects where a client comes in and says, you know, I have a vision for this. Can you help me build it? It's soup to nuts. We're doing plenty of both right now on Braintrust. The business model is very unique. So most marketplaces and agencies exist to extract as much value as they can out of every transaction, right? And in other networks, it's, you know, that could be anywhere from 20 to 50% or more. And that's very bad for the talent side and the client side. So our model is really simple. We charge a flat 10% fee to the client side, and that basically covers the cost of the network. Our goal here is to create a really valuable global network that benefits all of us, and we're not here to just try to take as many fees as we can. There's a core Braintrust team, 4 of us here on the call, and then there's about 5 more of us spread around the country. So it's a small, agile core team. And our mission here is really to, 3 things: build a great platform that's easy for you to make a living on, attract great talent, like all of you sitting here with us now, and then bring on really awesome clients, typically kind of Fortune 1000 US clients that have tons and tons of projects, tons and tons of opportunity for you guys to work on, and do so in a really curated way, on both sides, right? So we curate the talent very stringently, as you guys know. Like, we are very specific about who we recruit and who we let in. And then on the client side, it's also very stringent. It's we don't work with small businesses. We generally don't work with startups. It's generally larger companies that have, a ton of new work that they want done. And so all of the contributors to Braintrust so far have been freelancers or agencies on the site. So we have folks in Poland and California, New Zealand and Texas and South Africa and Seattle and Portugal and the Netherlands and all over the place. We have no internal product and technology people on the core team. All of what you see on Braintrust platform has been built by freelancers on Braintrust. And then finally, the most unique part of what we do here is our sort of ownership and control model. So most companies have shares of stock. We have tokens, and the token, it's called the Braintrust token, is the sole unit of ownership and control on our network. And so what that means is people who have tokens can vote on decisions. It's not like a security. It's not a profit return mechanism because Braintrust is a nonprofit. It is literally just ownership and control in the platform represented by this token. And the token's built on Ethereum. It acts as an incentive mechanism. So it rewards you for doing things to help us build the network, like referring more talent, vetting talent, referring clients, and a bunch more use cases we're working on. So the token's been under construction for months and months now. We just kicked off testing with it today. It's a Herculean effort, and it's really exciting. So we're gonna do, most of you haven't heard of a token before or may not understand how it works, which is totally normal. We're gonna do a deeper dive on that later this year once we get ready to publicly launch it. And that is our Braintrust overview. Quick update on how COVID is affecting Braintrust. So obviously, right, this virus was a health emergency and then became like 100 or 1,000 times bigger economic problem for literally everyone on the planet. And of course, our clients are, Fortune 1000 companies, and a lot of them, their business completely dried up. We have a cruise line that is a customer of ours. I'm hoping I can still use the present term is, because that industry may never come back. We have all, industries across sectors that are represented by our customers, and all of them really are taking a hit. So we had an initial slowdown of business on Braintrust. We're starting to see it come back, which is really encouraging. You're seeing new jobs post every week now on Braintrust. We're getting lots of great bid activity. This is where Megan and Mark really spend a lot of time. But here's my prediction is, I think we're going to see a temporary setback here for a couple months. And then as companies realize that, we all got forced to work from home and forced to figure out how to make that work, that you actually can innovate and build, important software and design products remotely, right? That was kind of even though that's obvious to all of us on this call, that's a revelation to most American enterprises. One, and two, now that we're heading into what I hope is the worst recession we'll ever see. I'd hate to see something worse than this. We'll be in a recession for quarters and quarters and quarters. It's time to cut costs. So that means having warehousing people in expensive places like New York and San Francisco is not going to make any sense. And so networks like Braintrust that can offer really high quality talent, spread around the world without all of this overhead cost of an office are going to be very attractive options. So I think we're going to come out of this temporary dip, and we're actually going to be a lot bigger and stronger of a network on the other side of it. So lots of near-term pain, but really hopeful about kind of future prospects of all this. On the talent side, so we're up to about 425 approved talent accounts. We're no longer sort of broadly recruiting people. We have thousands and thousands on the wait list. We're not sort of indiscriminately bringing people in right now. We're actually only recruiting and approving accounts for jobs that we know are coming on and going to hit the marketplace. So this is something Megan and Mark do, spend a lot of their time on, and probably a lot of the new people on this call were specifically recruited for near-term opportunities, just so everybody knows how that works. We set up a referral engine a few months ago that a lot of people, like thousands of people, have used to refer their friends. I want you guys to know that we will get to those folks, but we're trying to only bring in people where we have near-term opportunities. The sales team is still humming along. It's slowed down a bit, but we're doing lots of creative new things on the sales side. You see us on LinkedIn a lot, and we'll get to that later. Shirley will cover that later. Appreciate all your help there. But we've added more jobs for Nestle and Deloitte and Blue Cross Blue Shield and PwC. And then we have a couple really exciting clients coming down. I can't mention them yet until we get them on board, but there's a very large auto manufacturer, a large oil company, couple large banks. And so these clients, the way this works, they'll start by posting a couple jobs just to get, a feel for how things work and the quality of the people on Braintrust. And then they'll post more. And we have at least 5 clients right now that want to add about 200 jobs each. So, that right there, we have like 1,000 potential jobs in the pipeline right now. And so the trick here is for us to totally ensure client satisfaction. We want to make sure these guys have a great experience, that the work is great, it's really responsive, that communication's good. So, the vast majority of people we've approved on Braintrust are, fit that mold. But I just want to say, like, if you don't think you'll have time to service a job, or if you feel like you're stretched thin or anything like that, then just don't bid. Just wait for the next one to come along when the timing's better for you. Our job here is to really 100% ensure client satisfaction. So far it's been awesome. Like, we have just an amazing CSAT score here. We've had very, very few problems. So that's all exciting stuff. Really glad that's coming down the pipe. I'm going to pause here and pass it over to Shirley to give us an update on community.
Thank you, Adam. And nice to see familiar faces in the participants. I'm really happy to get to know all of you through Slack and through newsletters. The first thing I wanted to say is, as you know, we've updated our talent profiles, and Mark will dive more into that later. But it would be really cool if in LinkedIn, your bio, the headline, you can please add Braintrust founding talent. It's sort of like, we want you to feel proud to be part of Braintrust, and it helps us while we're still in stealth to build a brand, because clients are on LinkedIn. That's the most active social network. And if they're starting to see, potential talents they want to hire all have Braintrust founding talent, it really gives us nice street cred. So it would mean a lot if you can put Braintrust founding talent or Braintrust approved, however you want to put it, that makes the most sense for you. So that's one thing. And of course, if you want to let me know that you've done that, we can send you tokens as a thank you. A quick community update. So just, I've joined the company, it's almost 3 months now, and I've set up a few just more like fundamentals and just structures of how we can communicate with you. And that's through newsletters and Slack. And the newsletters so far, you know, I've been trying to come from more of a resource perspective. So, you know, if there's anything that's happening that's timely, we turn that into a blog post, we pull that in as a resource and send it in newsletters, as well as any workshops that's coming up, we do that. If you have other ideas for what would make, you know, make it more interesting for you, or anything that you'd rather have me include or in addition to what I'm already sending, please let me know. This is a collaborative effort and I'm starting from scratch. So your input means a lot to me. The second thing that we've stood up is talent workshops. And this is, you know, amidst of COVID, everyone was thinking, okay, we don't have in-person events anymore. Why don't we turn things virtual? And I think it makes sense for us because we are such a distributed company and our talents are in, I think, 15 or 20 countries. So, you know, my approach to workshops was, okay, let's do something that's general that can benefit everyone, you know, like the how to build your brand online, how to stand out to clients, how to create a sales funnel that's coming up this Thursday, and also separately something that's more specific for your industry. So we had a design workshop. You know, I'm talking to Samip about doing a developer specific workshop. If you feel like there are specific topics that you'd like us to explore, please let me know. Again, if you feel like hosting a workshop or you have ideas for what would make this more interesting, I am all ears. Want to make sure that this is a fun and rewarding experience for you. And something to look forward to that's coming up. So Adam talked about the token, and as you know, we're built on blockchain and control of our network is represented by our Braintrust token. And just to reiterate what you can do with tokens, in the future, you're going to be able to vote on product features, decide, you know, what the network is going to build next. You can put stakes on projects, sort of, you know, showing clients that you're really serious about a bid, unlike other platforms, as you know. A lot of times it's just people bidding to see if they can land a job, and that's not what we're about. And also you can, as a client, you can promote your job potentially by using tokens. And we're thinking of a lot of other fun and innovative ways for us to be able to use the token since it's a utility token. And I think that not everyone knows about, you know, what we can do with the token, what is the token. So part of my job or the team's job is to be able to, you know, let everyone be more familiarized with our token, what you can do with it, why you want to earn it, and how you want to earn it. So in the coming months, I want to say May, June, and July, you'll be seeing me talking more about this through our newsletters, through social media, and through Slack. And we may create some fun imagery and animations, and I'll be reaching out to you guys who's willing to help us to build this sort of like an educational program to make this token more, I guess, more familiar to you. Another thing that's coming up is Braintrust Academy. We thought of, okay, what else can we do that's valuable for our community while we are ramping up demands? And thinking of certification programs, or if you want to upskill further, or if you want to go into a different category. I believe I read somewhere that freelancers now have 2 or 3 different skills on average. So if, let's say, you're a really awesome designer that feels like going into programming, you know, this is an opportunity for you to do so. And so we're looking at different partners to create this, individual partners as well as institutional partners, to make sure that the content is really robust and valuable. It's not your 101 type classes, but more really, I want to say, intermediate to advanced to master type classes that would fit this crowd. So that's something to look forward to. And finally, I just want to put just one more thought out there for Project N95. For the folks that are new on this call, you're probably not as familiar, but when COVID first hit, there were some interest in volunteering for organizations that are helping COVID. In Project N95, they're based out of New York. They're a clearinghouse for frontline workers to get access to medical equipment. And right now they're looking for a front-end engineer, back-end engineer, data visualization project manager to work with them, volunteer with them for 2 weeks. If that's something that you feel like you want to get involved with, please let me know. I have direct contact with them, and they really need someone or people immediately. So that's just something, that's it on my side.
Thanks, Shirley. That's it's so cool to see. I'm so proud of this network that we've had so many people volunteer to step up and do pro bono work. I mean, even before COVID hit, we did some product work for an organization called Year Up. We had a bunch of great volunteers for that. Then a bunch of folks on our Slack were volunteering to help the state of New York. And then now we have this N95 thing. I'm just so impressed by how many great people we have on this network willing to help out and donate, your really valuable skills. So thanks so much for that. Let me kick it over to Mr. Mark Williams and Megan for a product update.
All righty, thanks Adam and Shirley. Hello everyone. I wanted to start off as I have the last couple of times on these calls and talking about the talent profiles and their importance. So for the new people who've just joined, obviously you've gone through the process of building out your profile. Some of you have built out on the brand new redesign, so you never saw our old one. And for those of you who we've transitioned to the new profiles and you've updated those, thank you so much. Again, these are important for kind of two reasons. So we did a lot of research with our existing customers and also other just large enterprises, asking how we can best help them in this process of finding people. And so when you put yourself in the shoes of someone who's evaluating a new company and a person to hire, they have a lot of the same questions. It's like, how do I trust this person's good? How do I know you've vetted these people? How do I know they really have the skills that they're saying? And so these new profiles have tried to address that and give the hiring managers in particular a really quick, easy view to get the information they need. And then on the other side, they're extremely important for us in helping build our sales pipeline. So when we have these huge enterprises who we walk in the door and they've never heard of us, they're like, why would I work with you instead of one of these companies I've been working with for the last 5-10 years? And the way we do that is showing them your profiles. And so even if you haven't applied to a job that's live on the platform yet, it is possible that your profile has been used to get one of these other jobs on the platform, just showing the people the great talent we have. So thank you so much for filling those out. It is extremely, extremely difficult. And I mean, not difficult, it's extremely important. Well, I share my screen here to show a great example.
Mark, we've made it less difficult.
It's less difficult. It is difficult to share the correct thing in Zoom. We don't have to keep trashing Zoom, but yeah, we're gonna be ready to move on here. All right, so I just wanted to show, I know you've all gone through this, so just very quickly why these are important to clients, of just getting a quick view of the skills and also the focus areas of what you're working on, what your main interests are, and then delving right into some projects that you have worked on. Our clients have, so a lot of times this is one of the first things they go to. They have already been able to, once they post a job and they see that you have applied to it, they see the skills that you have. And so that's nice to have. The first thing they do is they come and start looking at projects. So I know particularly for engineers, you'll have repos on Git. Designers, you'll have your own portfolio. That's terrific. We still want those, and you can share those in your social links up top. But these project cases are where our clients go to get a view of what you've really done. And then similar to some other places, you can add your work history, education, any certifications. And really the hard work that has gone into these is making them standard across all roles. So one of the main things we've heard from clients is it's difficult to look at just a giant text block of resumes when they're trying to evaluate, especially a team, if they're hiring a large number of people. And so these profiles keeps everything consistent and really helps them out. So thank you so much for continuing to have a complete profile and build those out.
And a real quick thing to add on to that. Our sales team will actually go through and find like really well built out profiles like the one Mark just showed from Edlin, and just propose them to clients. So it's not committing you. It's not saying like, oh, Edlin like is ready to work on this job. It's more like, hey, we have amazing people like Edlin on our platform that, you know, could do this job. She may or may not be available, but and so the better your profile looks, the more likely you're getting into the proposals, and then you kind of get first crack at the work if you want it. No obligation if you don't have time.
Yep. So thank you very much for that. On to other parts of the product. For those of you who have applied to job, many have been contacted directly by the client on platform. This is a huge differentiator for us. And another thing that the clients say when we ask them why they like working with Braintrust, one of the first things that always comes up is their direct access to talk to you guys. So we aren't playing the middleman, keeping you behind some curtain and then magically revealing you. Everything is transparent and right up front. And this messaging is now a lot easier to use, and we've surfaced it. So it's always been easy on the employer side. It was a little hidden on the talent side. So now you're going to see that mail icon right up in the header, and better organization of all of the messages between different clients on different jobs. So that's quite exciting. Live, this launched last month, but for the new people, I'll mention that we can attach files to invoices. So particularly for those of you on the large enterprise clients who have monthly billing, it's nice to, if they have hourly tracking requirements and you want to attach those hours straight to the invoice, that flows through all the way to their accounts payable team. And so it will help with faster approval of those so we can get you paid as quickly as possible. Something in final testing this week, hopefully launching next week or the week after, is multiple contacts at an employer. So this may not have an immediate impact to you, but for our employers who have multiple jobs in different parts of their organization, we'll have all of their people under one umbrella to streamline the hiring and the payments. So they can use just one account with us, again, in the hopes of getting you hired on a job as fast as possible and then paid as quickly as possible. So just streamlining things so employers find it as easy as possible to work with us, so they keep coming back instead of one of our competitors. The next thing you'll probably see from Megan and I, a lot of our time has been spent on both client satisfaction and talent satisfaction. So as we grow and get more jobs, more clients, more people, we need a faster way than Megan and I emailing each of you individually, which we'll always be here for. So you have our emails, hit us up if you have any questions or concerns, but we're going to be taking a more regular pulse of how your project is doing. So once you're on a project with a client, we'll be sending weekly or every other week emails just to give a quick thumbs up, thumbs down, how are things going? And it'll just be a regular check, particularly for the clients who sometimes go a little quiet and we don't have that regular touch with them if they aren't as active in the job. Sometimes a hire is made and then they step back. We want to keep checking in with them just to make sure we're giving them everything we need and hearing from you also how the project is going. So it's a two-way street. We are the marketplace and we want both sides to be as happy as possible. So you'll see those emails coming your way. And next up, I think I'll kick it over to Adam to talk about some more of the token testing that is coming up. Extremely exciting.
Absolutely. So this is, as I mentioned earlier, sort of the backbone of the project. This is our token represents ownership and control in this network. Eventually, this will be a completely decentralized network. We will, the folks on the core team will just be mere contributors next to all of the other, dozens and dozens and soon to be hundreds of other contributors to the project. So we just kicked this off last night. We have about 20 beta testers, all freelancers on the platform that are helping us out. If you're interested in helping us test, we're offering 1,000 Braintrust tokens as a reward for helping us. It should be a couple hours of time not in a row, but all put together over probably like 2 weeks as we fix little bugs and fix usability and that kind of thing. There's no prerequisite, like you don't have to be like good at blockchain or understand tokens to do this. We actually want regular people who aren't token dorks like myself. So because one of our jobs here is to make this sort of relatively complex technology easier to use. And so like really good UX is actually the biggest challenge. Not to say the technical part isn't hard too. We have some phenomenal engineers here, Aiden and Vincent, working on this for us. So anyway, shoot me an email, adam@usebraintrust.com if you'd like to join that testing crew. We just kicked it off last night and we've already had a bunch of people come through it. So really excited there. Let's see. Okay, now we'll kick it over to Mark and Megan. Anything else on the product? Cool. Okay. We will. So we'll wrap it up here. I'll talk a little bit about timeline. And so for folks who are not new, you might remember our plan was to get on March, do a PR launch. Potentially April, do another small fundraise, and then launch the network publicly kind of in the June timeframe. And none of those things will be happening. It was pushed out at least a quarter. Funny story, we actually, so we have, our let me back up, our public launch strategy here is sort of twofold. We want to do really great PR, so have what we call air cover. So we have this guy, Corey Johnson, who used to be on Bloomberg. He's joined us. We hired this amazing PR firm. Gabe and Shirley and myself have done a lot of PR in the past. Like we were going to do this kind of high level PR, be in Bloomberg and CNBC, places like that. And then also have all of our investors, advisors, and members talk about us as well. Just a very kind of genuine, like, hey, here's why I like Braintrust. And we call that the groundswell. And those two strategies put together are a great way to launch a new brand. And so we tried the first one and like just could not break through the news cycle. It was really tough. And I actually think today still like this news cycle is nowhere near over. The COVID thing is still a very real thing, obviously, and still affecting almost everyone's life in the world. So people don't really care about startups right now, understandably. And so we're just putting everything on pause. It's actually like, it's not that bad of a thing. Like every month that goes by, our platform gets stronger and sharper. Our team is more even, more refined on their processes. We get more and more great talent, like all of you. We're actually even, accumulating clients despite this. And so not everyone's putting all the jobs up there that they'd like to, but that'll come. So we're kind of kicking it all out by a quarter. We're going to probably try the PR thing again in June. But the grassroots, the groundswell stuff on social is already underway. And this has been, Shirley and another person on our team, Brandon, and all of us have been helping on this and asking you all to, update your LinkedIn and post this and post that. And so many of you have done this to help us. And it's really been awesome. And let me get more specific about why we're doing this. It's not about vanity metrics. Like we don't care about like having lots of likes for the sake of it. It's when these things get posted by our talent specifically, other people see it. And let me give you an example of something that just happened last night. I haven't even shared this with our core team yet, but one of the talent on our on Braintrust posted something on her LinkedIn the other night, and someone from a client with a very, very large shoe and apparel company that we're recruiting saw it and said, wow, I didn't know you were on Braintrust. Like, oh, okay, well, like that, that changes things. Like we want to make sure we like get to work with you guys because they're on this hiring freeze where they can't bring anyone in new. And like, unfortunately, almost every company right now in the world, at least in the US, is on a hiring freeze. And so they're like, if we can work with you through Braintrust, that's a great reason to get Braintrust on. So we just got accelerated through procurement because one of our approved talent people just posted this little 2-sentence thing about why she likes Braintrust's model. So it's not an exercise in vanity. This is a real thing that helps us build the business. So deep thanks for everyone who's done this so far. And we're going to keep rolling out more fun programs. It's not just going to be like us asking you to do stuff. Like we've got lots better and more creative ideas coming down the pipe. And so, and Shirley kind of runs this thing. We're also looking to expand the team on social. But if you have ideas or have kind of like, you guys are such creative people. If you have cool ideas, ping me, ping Shirley with them, and we'll make sure we try it out with you. And so that's where we're at with Braintrust. Let me jump over to Q&A. I've got one here from Dana. Dana, good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming. So Dana asks, I'd love to add a mention of Braintrust to my LinkedIn profile, but I'm working with other gig networks and I found recruiters might be hesitant to contact me because they think I might have a full-time job. Is it okay to list Braintrust as one of my professional experiences instead? Brilliant point. We know all of you work with multiple networks. You have your own clients. You might be on Upwork or Gigster or whatever. Obviously, completely fine. We don't care about that. We just want to be. We want to be the best network for you. We want to bring you the best clients, best jobs, and let you keep all your money. That's our thing. We're not trying to take half your money. And so, yeah, what Dana suggested here is actually a really smart idea. It would be, if you want to just add like Braintrust founding talent as one of your professional experiences and like have it be like the date you were approved, like, say January 2020 to current, like it could just be like one of your gigs. And if you did a project on Braintrust, several dozen people now have completed projects or are working on ongoing projects. If you're allowed to talk about the specifics of the project, please do so. If you're not, then just describe the project or the client at a high level. Like say you worked on, the Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance shopping app. I'm not sure whether they're, talking publicly about it. I'm pretty sure they are, but yeah, they are. Okay. Because they like,
please talk about it.
Yeah, right. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah, so that's a cool project, right? So if you worked on that project, mention it on your LinkedIn and mention and point it back to Braintrust. So that's absolutely do that. And we'll get better at like helping you automate that and that sort of thing. So great question. Let me see if we have any other ones here.
And maybe on that point too, kind of back to, we've heard sometimes it's difficult when you're updating your Braintrust profile, you don't want to share the projects that you did under a non-disclosure agreement. It's perfectly fine to obfuscate some of those details. So you take out the client name and just talk about what you did on that project. It's still very helpful just to see that. So we're all about transparency in a legal way. So any way you can talk about us or the work you have done, it just helps get the fuller view of you as a person.
Yeah, that's a great point. We obviously want to be very, very mindful and respectful of our clients' needs for privacy and anonymity. There's really good business reasons behind that for them. But on the other side, it's like, well, look, you did do the work and it was complicated and sophisticated work. And it's not about vanity, right? We're not like trying to brag here. We're trying to show to new prospective clients that, hey, this person worked on this really hard thing that's a specialized skill, and that could be valuable to you too, right? There's no better sort of filter here. Like most of these clients, like they don't care where you went to college. Most of them don't care where you live, right? Some do, but for time zone reasons, but most don't. Like we're building this, Braintrust is this egalitarian network where the best person for the job should get the job. And so it's not really about money a lot of the times, and it's not about location, it's about skills and experience. And so our job is to let that important stuff come through the profile. And so the more you can demonstrate that, you know, the better, the more jobs will get filled. All right. I don't think I have any other questions here.
I have one more thing to add. We have actually upped the client referral percentage to 2%. So Adam, do you want to speak about that really quickly?
Yeah, thank you so much for reminding me about that. I've been so scattered here this morning. There's things I usually mention that I forgot. We've been up all morning testing the token, and yeah, it's been a busy week. So so speaking of the token, part of the magic here with what we're trying to build with Braintrust is we want you to get more ownership and control in our network by helping us build the network. And that could mean actually like designing and programming. Like there's like 100 people doing that right now, and that's great. But it also means referring more talent and referring more clients. And so I spoke earlier about the talent referrals, like literally 1,000 people have done that already, and we deeply appreciate it. We're a bit log jam there because we've got to pick and choose the people who we have immediate client needs for. But on the clients, if you refer clients, we've actually had maybe a dozen or so people do this already and bring on some actually pretty big clients. We had someone bring on or in the process of bringing on a very large bank in the United States that has like an endless amount of work for us. And so when you refer those folks, those clients, you're going to get paid a percentage of what those clients transact on Braintrust in perpetuity. You're going to get that paid back to you in the form of our token. And that reward was typically around 1%. We just upped it as an experiment to 2%. And so think about if you refer someone and they do $100,000 worth of business in their first month, we're going to give you $2,000 worth of Braintrust token programmatically. The software is actually built to do that automatically now. And so, and again, the token hasn't launched yet, and there's lots more to talk about with the token. We're going to do a separate session about probably a full hour on just how that token works. I want us to sort of get it closer to live before we do that. But yeah, that's our way we make this a completely user-controlled network, is through that referral engine mechanism. So thanks for reminding me. All right, I think we've cleared out the Q&A here. Again, really great to see all the new folks here. Sorry again for the Zoom nonsense. Someday we will have a better platform than Zoom to do these on. In the meantime, we'll post this to YouTube. We'll pop the link into Slack. So I know a lot of people, I got an email that couldn't make this time this morning. And then as always, like we love hearing your feedback. You guys, I mean, this whole platform is a result of your feedback at this point. You know, Gabe and I kind of shot up the V1 last year, and everything you see now was an idea one of you guys had. So that's how it's always going to be. So keep the ideas coming. Really appreciate it. Any other closing remarks here? All right. I hope everybody, I know like the whole world's on lockdown here. There's, I hope everybody's staying safe. And if any of your families are affected by this, I hope you're dealing with it as best you can. We're all in this together. We're all dealing with this in our own ways. And, you know, really appreciate you carving time out for us. So stay safe, everybody. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.